Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
In the second lecture today, we are now going to discuss on the strategic training and its processes. This part of the lecture session will be held on the concept of strategic training and its processes. In the last lecture, we tried to connect about the importance of training for the business objectives. We have tried to see what the business strategies are, different kinds of strategies, and how the training is very important aspect of making a strategic choice for the business in terms of making an internal analysis and external analysis, finding out where the gap exists and how training and development can help us to reduce the gap so that we become competent enough to make a choice, strategic choice of how to solve the problem which is there and reach the objective. So in this session we are going to discuss on some of the strategic training processes, strategic training and the processes involved in it. So whatever we understand by strategic training is like generally the word when strategy comes from the like war front, like the steps that we take to reach the particular objective. So here also, like whenever we are talking of strategic training, it is a form of training that provides employees with the necessary tools and information required to complete their task successfully in accordance with the business's strategic planning, values and goals. So that definition we need to be very clear about it. Like it provides employees with the necessary tools and techniques, it equips the employees properly so that the tools, techniques and information so that they are able to complete their task properly and which are required by the business objectives and values. So why the word strategic is important over here is like it means that it should carefully scrutinize and align the training processes with the objectives and goals of the organization, and it is regarded, this training is regarded as a part of the system which is designed to create human capital. So if you're giving any kind of training which is not linked with the business objectives or which doesn't have a purpose in mind, like I want to give this training because I want to develop these competencies in the people which are going to serve these purposes of my business and help the employees to contribute in this way. If this framework is not there in mind while we are giving a particular training or designing a training, then maybe we cannot term it as strategic training. So whenever we are talking of strategic training, this alignment has to be there in mind. So, and the strategy, whenever you're talking of strategy, it helps to address whether the training session is planned. It is very important, like whether the training session is planned and systematically administered, provided only when the problem occurs or spontaneously. So it is generally said that if any organization strategy requires new organizational capability, that is when training becomes strategy. There are some preconditions to begin a strategic training. So there are some preconditions to begin a strategic training. They are the people who cannot perform the required task of the organization at that moment should not be hired, because we have to be very goal focused whenever we are talking of strategic training. The people with abilities may be hired and trained to perform even better for the company. Revision of the business plan with the employees and management is important. So that it is the best thing for the required tasks. So if you are going for a business plan and then you are taking some training towards reaching that objective, in the process you face certain maybe questions, problems or hurdles, and then you have to think about whether it is the correct way to reach the a solution whether to the problem. Then maybe you have to revisit your business plan along with the employees and management, so that you can understand that is the best thing to be done at present. So what we understand whenever we are talking of strategic training, the feedback, agility, revisit of the plan, and continuous effort, constantly taking feedback, these are very, very important whenever we are talking of strategic training. Why strategic training is important? The strategy impacts training with a strong influence on determining whether training is planned and systematically administered. It's provided when the problems occur or develop spontaneously as a reaction to what competitors are doing. The importance placed on training compared to other HRM practices such as selection and compensation. So, whenever we are talking of strategic training, so it helps to understand what is the importance of training with respect to the other HR functions, or how it gets connected to other HR functions, and whether the training is planned or not. So these are very important aspects of strategic training. So what is strategic training and where does it stand, and how do you understand the value addition that this training has made towards reaching the business objective? That is very important. Whenever we are talking of strategic training, the word measurement will definitely come, the word evaluation will definitely come, because if we are aligning the training program with the goals and aspirations of the employees and the organizations, then we may need to check out also at the end of the day how much alignment was possible, how much value it has added, how much it has contributed. And if you want to do that, evaluation is a must, and in that case the metrics are very important. So as we can see this diagram, the business strategy has an effect on the strategic training and development initiatives taken, and those initiatives will lead to certain actual training and development activities done to reach certain of the business objectives. And then we have matrices that show the value of the training to reach certain of these business strategy and objectives. Let us see these points in details now. Business strategy, this has been discussed at the start of this week also. However, the process begins with identifying the business strategy is meant to reach the business plan consisting of mission, vision and the goals of the company. So here, as it is a process diagram, it's showing the different processes taken. We have started with the business strategy, but it is also like we have to understand, by studying the business strategy, we come to know about the business plan, which is consisting of the vision, mission, and the goals of the company, and how the organization plans to reach that goal. In number 2, we found in the diagram strategic training and development initiatives. Now, strategic training and development initiatives are learning-related actions that contribute to the diversity of a learning portfolio, the improvement of customer satisfaction, acceleration of employee learning, and the rate of capturing and sharing knowledge. So, if it is centrally defined, it is well aligned with the purpose of the organization, so then we can understand how to impart this learning, to what mode we do it, whether it is face to face, whether it is e-learning, and what are these different modalities, how it is affecting customer satisfaction, and which modality is better suited for employee learning, and then if people are learning, what is the value addition to the knowledge domain, at what pace they are learning, at what rate they are capturing the knowledge and sharing it. So, all these things will come under the purview of the strategic training and the development initiatives, because if you are investing, if the organization is investing in certain resources for the organization, for the employees of the organization, then the organization would also like to verify whether they are really value addition, whether they are enriching themselves with the knowledge which is available in the e-learning platforms, or maybe freely available over internet, whether the employees are also learning them voluntarily to enrich them, and how they are capturing those knowledge and how they are sharing those knowledge. All this needs to be evaluated, all this needs to be measured, and so that's where the importance of strategic training and development lies. It not only facilitates the learning processes through different technology and medium, etc., it also tries to map out, it also tries to see whether these efforts taken have yielded any value or not. So, what are the implications of the strategic training development initiatives are? So, the implications of diversity of a learning portfolio are, as we already discussed, using of technologies such as internet for training, then facilitating informal learning, and then providing more personalized learning opportunities. So, these are welcome changes that we may talk of in strategic training and development, and also which are pro-employees decision, how making learning more easy, and which can be accessed from the locality that they are in. They don't need to travel to a central location, and more personalized learning opportunities means I'm developing only that part maybe where I require to train myself. So, it brings in a lot of flexibility if we are talking of the strategic training and development initiatives, and along with that how technology is more so very involved in the whole process. The strategic training and development initiatives and their implications are implications to not only the direct people who are the employees, but implications of training should be extended, who should come under the coverage of this training program. is like extended to suppliers, customers, and employees. So, what kind of things are you getting in? What kind of like raw materials you're getting in? So, all these are going to ultimately affect your product. So, it is very important, like the suppliers also get to know like where to source from, like how the whether there are any like ethical issues connected or not. So these are important things that needs to be like understood in terms of strategic training, and that's why it is not only the employees of the organization who should be getting training on it, but along with them the suppliers and customers. If they also come in the same platform with the employees, then only there will be a quite good synchronization amongst all three players. So strategic training actually involves all these three stakeholders. And of course, providing more learning opportunities to non-managerial employees so that they can grow. They can grow in the system and make oneself capable enough for the next position on the hierarchy. If their like education background and other things permit, or even they may be sent for education courses, etc., depending on their need, their aspirations, their competence, and maybe other behavioral aspects which make them more fit for the next step. And these are the things which are acting as hurdles, which we need to like take care of by sending the person to some like learning exposure programs to different, so that the person is able to equip oneself with the strength which is required to move up next in the hierarchy. So the offering learning opportunities to learn non-managerial employees is very, very important for maybe the career progression of the employees. So the implications of the strategic training and development initiatives are, so it helps in accelerating the pace of employee learning, because it helps to identify the needs quickly and provide a high quality learning solution. So employees may not get time to, all of them get equal time to learn, because of the job nature and the situation. So everybody cannot take the off at the same time, then the business is not going to run. So they need their own pace to learn, and maybe whenever they are comfortable as per time wise, so that they are not like developing themselves at the cost of the development and production process of the organization. So whenever we are talking of strategic training and development initiatives, the specific needs, customized needs of employees for whom this training program is being developed needs to be taken care of, and accordingly the program needs to be developed for them. So the implication is, of course, as I told, quick identifying the needs and provide a high quality learning solution. So it reduces the time to develop training programs and facilitating access to learning resources on an as needed basis. So this helps in like, if the learning system is there, so it makes the journey of learning for the employees easy, because they can learn at their own pace and time. They can follow their own routine, and then learning really doesn't become a compulsion. Learning becomes a love. It is out of the love for learning. It's out of the like desire to know more. people may go to this platform to search the knowledge relevant informations which enrich them as an individual, as a employee, and it helps in personal growth also. So what are the implications of these initiatives in, like, which helps to accelerate the pace of learning are like providing high quality learning solution based on what they are trying to learn, and it so if it is there, definitely there will be a reduced need for reduced time for developing the training programs, and you can, like, if it is present in a system, you can go and access it at any point of time. Strategic training and development initiatives and implications of improving customer service are like it is very important, like the employees have product and service knowledge, so, and they have the skills to interact with the customers, and the employees should also have the understanding of their roles and decision making authority. So these are very important points, in the sense, like, if the employees do not have the knowledge of the products and services, how do they explain those processes to the customers to convince them? And then behavioral skills of interacting with the employees or the other customers, specifically here the other customers are required, so that they are able to convince them, be assertive in their communication also. The third point is very important, like what decision making authority do they have, to what extent, and what are their roles. They need to understand these things very clearly, because sometimes there could be some demands from the customers regarding certain concessions or extra benefits. Now the employee has to understand, like, whether it is within their reach, within their like purview, to give those concessions or extra benefits as demanded by the customers. So if it is there, it is fine. If not, they should be knowing their limitations also, and maybe that makes the interaction with the customers more easy. So that is very important, to, if we have a decision making authority, then to what extent. The implications of providing development opportunities and communication with employees are it should be ensured, like, the employees have development opportunities. It ensures that the employees understand career opportunities and personal growth opportunities, like how they are able to grow, and if they are growing, how it is getting reflected in their career. And it ensures that the training and development addresses employees' needs in current job as well as the growth opportunities. So it is not only focusing on what is present, but also trying to develop what you can do next so that you grow. So strategic training and development initiatives for employee development is very important, from the sense like it is also focusing on the growth need of the employees. The implications of capturing and sharing knowledge are, so it helps in capturing and sharing information from knowledgeable employees, organizing and storing information logically. This is very important. So how the tacit knowledge gets stored in the organization, so that others, when required, can refer to it, can learn from it, so to enrich oneself, and providing methods to make the information available to the, so it acts as a manual, a guide for others to follow. The implications of aligning training and development with the company's direction are identifying needed knowledge, skills, abilities, or competencies, and ensuring that the current training and development programs support the company's strategic needs. So, first you have to identify the knowledge, skills, and abilities required, and then see whether the training program, the how we are doing it as a present, are like aligned or focused towards the strategic needs of the organization. So, if you're talking of the strategic training and development process, the third point in the diagram, if you remember, is the training and development activities. So, these activities may use web-based training, making development planning mandatory, developing websites for knowledge sharing, and increasing the amount of customer service training. So, web-based training, multimedia method training. So, there are different ways of training. So, these are some of the activities here. We are focused on web-based activity because it helps in the like e-learning platform, helps in very quick paced learning at your own pace, learning wherever, like whenever you want to learn. So these flexibility are given whenever you're talking of web-based training. So that is where we are focusing, like when you're talking of strategic training and development, on the web-based training. And making development planning mandatory, developing websites for knowledge sharing, and increasing the amount of customer service training. So, understanding like how the customer is going to behave, how to like talk to them, how to approach them, how to understand their points of view, how to make our points of view towards them. So, these kind of training are important as a part of strategic training. So, providing training and development activities linked to strategic training and development initiatives, like these activities include developing initiatives related to the use of following, like as we told, new technology in training, which is more web-based training or hybrid models of training. So, increasing access to training programs for certain groups of employees. So, who will have the access and how frequently they can access it, reducing development time, and also like the course module should take less time to be developed because it has to be timely to answer to the problems which are there, to answer the environmental demands which are there. If it take a very long time to develop these course materials or these training programs, then it may be like become out of track, obsolete when the situation may no longer demand the training. So it has to be having a very reduced development time and developing new or expanded course offerings so that you can incorporate the newer findings in it. So, the providing training and development activities which are linked to strategic training and development initiatives is to align training with business strategy, which includes customers, products and services, research and development, business system, so continuous learning and results. So, the fourth point, as you have seen in the diagram, as you have told, like it is not only the business strategy or the business planning and the strategic training to connect with the business strategy, strategic training initiatives that have been taken, like the web-based training and all, or the what kind of training is required, identifying the keys, competencies, and then making the training programs or initiatives and different kinds of training that needs to be given. But also, if you see in the fourth point down, which is there, if you remember the diagram that is shown, the fourth point over there was the matrices that show the value of training. That is very important whenever we are talking of strategic training. It is not only aligning your training with the business objectives and claiming that we are adding value, but we have to really prove that it's adding value, and if so, how much. So for that, having evaluation, proper matrices to measure the training is very important. So it involves learning, performance improvement, reduced customer complaints, reduced turnover, and greater employee satisfaction. So this particular training model takes into account the matrices and balance scorecard, which is the tools for measuring the impact of training session on the business strategy plan. So what are the steps, or how do we collect matrices? The first step, of course, is to identify and collect metrics to show training success. So what you do is a part of that is we try to understand trainee satisfaction with the program, assessing improvement of skills, knowledge, and abilities. The second part is the business related outcome could evaluate, like what are the changes in customer service, employee satisfaction, product defects, and employee turnover. So these are the business related outcomes. So these are the references that we have dealt with in preparing these slides. So in conclusion, from this session we could understand that it has given a clear picture on the concept of strategic training and the process of strategic training and development. The learners will learn about this from this lecture, and if they can apply it in their field of professional practices, then definitely it is going to do value addition to the organization and to themselves as trainers. Also because they know how to align the training module, the training with the business goals. What kind of training module is to given to whom, who are the persons who need to be selected to undergo this kind of training. So these are the knowledge that we get from going through this type of exercises when practiced in the organization. In the next session, we are going to learn in depth more about the different strategic training models which are there. In this session, we are focused on the strategic training processes. In the next session, we are going to enrich ourselves with the different kinds of strategic training models which are there. So we can use either of these models, or we can use a combination of the models as per the needs of the situations and the business situations or the environmental demands which are there, the type of employees there, the kind of training that we need to give. So the next session is a discussion on the different models of strategic training. So enjoy your learning till then. Any questions you have, we will be answering it in the forum, discussion forum, and we hope to clear your doubts in the discussion forum itself. Thank you. Happy learning.